Let's talk about turning that positive or negative into a positive.
All right, so turning this all into a positive from a negative. So I have an example. It's kind of a real world example, but more of what I would do in reaction to, let's say, a natural disaster, like maybe a tornado came through and ripped up most of your park, and the bad news is, you're going to be closed for repairs for at least a year. But thank God, like, everybody's fine. Maybe there's some injuries, maybe, nothing crazy though. And then but once that all passes, once the whole, taking care of your people and all the things that he would be doing passes, how do you turn that into a positive on social media? So I love creating content. So, I know you do too. And like, that's my bread and butter. So like, what would you do between that incident and reopening? Well, first of all, it's kind of the same part of that React method too. It's like acknowledging the event. So getting some sort of message out there immediately that, hey, this thing happened, we're aware of this and this and this, but like, as much as and like, here's what we're doing about that, and giving people kind of a timeline of what to expect if you have that. Step 2 is sharing progress over time. So, you might not, it might be pretty hard to like post about this stuff right after all this stuff happens because it's emotional and there was, potential harm happening to like real human beings. And, but my example for what to do after that is posting photos and videos of the building, the damage, and like every single room from outside the building, and constantly taking pictures like that, maybe like every week, for example. This is going to be good also for insurance because you're going to want to probably send that to your insurance people. But on top of that, showing the progress of how it went from ground zero to this and this and this to the final steps. People love seeing the progress. Like, they love seeing like how stuff is made. They love seeing like what you're doing to improve your building because it's ultimately for them, and the community is there to support you. So taking photos, progress photos, and then eventually you can even, after you're posting, once a week, for example, I don't know, that sounds like a lot for some people, but it's also not. Ultimately, like, you could turn that into like a quick, like, not time-lapse video, but like a really fast-paced video where it's showing all the progress. You could do like a multi-image post, like a carousel on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever it is, showing the progress, because that's one of the higher engaged types of posts. You could record time lapses of some of the construction, or maybe you're painting a new mural, maybe you're doing like new refreshes in some of the building, showing people those new updates. And sorry, I have a lot of stuff, but you could, if you are doing something new, like posting the concept renders, like the 3D renders that shows the park, like what's going to be new, or even if it's pretty much the same thing, like maybe you shifted some stuff around. But a lot of times people think this stuff is boring, and I'm like this is the stuff people love. People love seeing what's gonna happen, and the creativity too. I'm a creative person, so you could also do recordings, like record yourself, like a selfie video, or have someone else shoot a video of you talking about the progress updates in the where you can see it in the background. Walk through the whole place. You don't even have to shoot your face if you're not comfortable. You could just like do a walkthrough video, and that's, like I said, good for insurance too. But giving people updates that, people love to be included and seeing like what this place is doing. Step 3 is celebrate the comeback. So you've taken all those photos and videos, and you've posted a lot of them already, but like you think, a lot of people think like, oh, but I can't post that again. Like, you can post it whenever you want. You can do whatever you want. But like, now you have the opportunity to turn those 50 to 100 photos into, a bunch of new content, repurposing new content. So like, before and after videos, like in the contractor world, which is, I know, like not the same industry, that's like the most common type of reel or video that people usually make, is like, it might be as simple as, somebody shooting like with their phone like this, like going like this, left and right, and showing they did that during the the damage, you know, and then like halfway through or something, it like match cuts to the same room, and it's the finished product, and it's like some sort of inspirational song or something. So I could go on a lot for this, but like ultimately you want to like in social media you want to do and you want to engage with your audience, you want to inspire them, and that's part of this is the comeback. So before and after videos, the time-lapse style videos, like I said, and then maybe like a big reopening campaign. So like people need to know that you're going to be opening again, and that helps build excitement for them. It's like a second chance at a first impression again. So lastly, what happens if you don't post? Like, I mean, you could do that, that's fine, but one thing that could be a downside is some people might forget that this whole thing happened, and they might think you're closed permanently, even though it might not say closed permanently. That's their impression. You know, you haven't posted in a year, like the last post that they've seen is this, you know, damaged building. Unfortunately, they might think that you're closed. And your page could look abandoned, like you're not taking care of that and communicating with people. Competitors could fill the gap through all that because they don't, you know, people don't know, and they might just go to your competitors because they know that they're open. Let's see, and then you do miss the chance of turning this into a story, turning the tragedy into the triumph. You know, it's a cool story, and ultimately, like, whether it's social media or like commercials or whatever it is, like however you want to tell your brand and get your name out there, it's about story. It's not about shoving sales posts in people's faces, like pictures of a flyer that you made that has like 50 different offers on it. Like, people want to see a story. They want to connect with you and your place. So when you finally reopen, yeah, customers might already have moved on to other parks. So that's what happens when if you choose not to post. Other people might have different, you know, input on that. I'm not sure, but that's my perspective, and that's all I got for my section. So
if I had to summarize that whole thing, because that was very good. There's some really good nuggets in there. It's control the narrative. Right?
Yeah.
Correct. It's controlling the narrative of what happened, and you know, thinking back to the rainfall in our park, people were curious. What happened? What happened? What happened? Right. You know, why aren't they open? Why aren't they open? They want to know. Yeah. And if you give them that information, then they're like, oh wow, then that becomes the story. And then it's like, oh, did you hear what happened? But you control that, and you know, you build on that, and like you said, the progress. You know, we did all of that in our case with the park, and you know, a lot of those tips were right on the money. And
thank you.
Yeah, that was really great.